Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. We are back um, with a new type of review, kinda. We're reviewing our first TV show, and I'm not gonna do this for every show I review, but this show has particularly long episodes. We're gonna be reviewing The Sopranos. Someone in the comment section, I forget who, I apologize, talked about the Many Saints of Newark, which I know is a prequel movie to the series. So I figured, what better way than to watch through the series, and then we'll go ahead and review the movie. I don't know what you're thinking. There's a lot of episodes, and I understand. So feel free to click on the episodes that interest you, the reviews that interest you. I don't expect everyone to watch all 86. I think there are. Without further ado, I'm going to talk about the pilot just a little bit. Obviously, there isn't as much to go off of as there is in a movie. It's still about an hour, but these are pretty long episodes, and there is still enough to get at. And I think my first main thing about this pilot is that it actually does play like a decent movie. Obviously, there's stuff in there for future episodes. What with Tony's uncle talking about at the end, like, oh, maybe we'll have to whack him at some point. But for the most part, it does play out like a you know kind of like a movie. His therapist he starts to learn that therapy is kind of the reason why he's feeling better. Um, I think that the storytelling from the beginning, the aspect of him kind of retelling the events that got him to this point where he has to seek therapy was pretty cool. And it lasted about half the episode, which I thought felt was good for the pacing too. You could kind of get a little bit of him at therapy, a little bit of him outside of therapy. He starts to connect some of the dots. A lot happened in this episode, and I don't know if that's going to happen with every episode because in my humble opinion, I tend to think that shows pack a lot in their first and last episodes, and then there is filler. A lot of people think that shows have a lot of filler, and I don't think The Sopranos are going to be like this different entity where it's like, oh, they're not going to have filler episodes. I think they will, but it is noted that they don't have a ton of episodes. Some shows could go on for hundreds. I don't know how long Friends was, but that's a show in my opinion. It's probably one of the longest shows I've ever watched, and it's got 10 seasons. So The Sopranos, I think, has six, um, but about 13 or so per season, I believe. So it's a lot more manageable. We might review stuff in between. It depends on fan demand. I obviously, if you guys aren't loving the Soprano reviews, I'll take it back a second. Maybe we'll review a different show or maybe a movie or something. I will still keep up with Marvel and Star Wars. It's not getting great views, but I'm okay with that. It's kind of my favorite thing to do. So having a little bit for me and a little bit for you, I think that that's fair. And eventually, I'll develop my own niches for those audiences too. I don't expect everyone to watch every video. That's just kind of what happens. Anything else about the pilot that I felt was really special? Well, again, it's a pilot, right? This isn't just the first episode. It's the pilot. This is what whoever created the show, they showed it off to HBO. Was like, this is what we got. This is what we got to work with. So I think some of these characters may not appear in every episode. It's kind of a way to show what you've got to work with in that first season. And there's characters there like I think there's characters there that are going to get more depth, right? Specifically, Tony Jr. He kind of has to get more depth. He's still he's very young. He's only 13. Obviously, as the show continues, he'll get older. Probably will be an adult by the end of it. So for sure, has to sort of develop a little bit. Um, I think his daughter could end up becoming part of the family business. She's probably 15, 16, if I had to get, maybe even 17. She seemed younger than me, and obviously she's still at the house, and she was in high school. We saw her playing volleyball, so I have to assume she was probably about 16, if that's like a normal high school age, probably. Um, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you if she will be a huge part of the show moving forward. I think his wife. Um, I can already guarantee you that the fan base of this show probably hates his wife. I don't know that for sure, but I just I just feel like that's something that would happen. I remember I haven't watched all Breaking Bad, but um, Skylar's considered to be one of the worst characters or most hated characters, and I mean maybe there's precedent for that, but like I think some of that's also just that like the fans of these shows don't like women, and I know that might seem like very like bro, like that's so like stereotypical or that's so like generalized. That's such a generalization, but this happens sometimes with media that you watch. You kind of realize, oh, the people that I like it, but the people who do like it are like crazy. I don't know of other situations. So I just know that like specifically with mob boss movies, the people who tend to like them tend to be a little sexist. I'm not that way. And I'm gonna go into this hoping that it's not a sexist show. It probably isn't. Um, it passed the Bechdel. uh, that's not really inaccurate, but there is a scene where the mom and the daughter are talking about like traditions that they used to do together. That's something that would pass the Bechdel test. I also like the show's called The Sopranos, not Tony Soprano, not so I gotta think that the show's basis is more on the family rather than just on Tony. Now, Tony's a good protagonist. I actually really like what they're doing with him so far. So I don't really think that it's gonna be a huge deal that it's called, it's not he's gonna be the main focus, even though the show's called The Sopranos. I think him and his therapist are probably going to get it on at least once, maybe more. It's definitely leading towards that. Maybe I can just predict these 90s shows very well. Really, it's more of a 2000s show, but this episode was in 1999, so I'm calling it a 90s show for now. Honestly, I'm kind of done. I don't know. Like, I'm sure I missed stuff. Obviously, there's like plot details I didn't really go into. But part of the review, I want you guys to go check it out. I mean, I kind of give my thoughts on stuff that stuck out to me when I was watching it. I'd probably give it about a 9. Seems fair. It was really good. I didn't have much complaints. It's more of that like the show's gonna be able to do a whole lot more. Giving the pilot a 10 when it doesn't really deserve it is kind of unnecessary. And I could reach into the 9.5 range, but I know the show will have crazier things. There was no moment in this that made my jaw drop or anything, and I think that Goodfellas had a lot of that. Where I had a moment where I was just straight up like my mouth dropped. I'm like, what is going on? But that didn't happen in this show yet, so I have to assume that's saved for a mid-season finale or a season finale or something. Um, if you guys have watched The Sopranos, please don't spoil it. I probably know some spoilers anyway, but we want to keep it as friendly as possible to not only me but other people who might be watching it. Um, I don't mind spoilers that much, but it's more for other people too who haven't watched it and want to. Just don't be an asshole, basically, in the comment section, please. We want to grow a loving community here, and I think that one way to do that is to talk about the episode that I just talked about. The one where I did spoil in the review. Because every review on here will be kind of spoiler centric just automatically. If it's something new, I'll put a spoiler tag, but most reviews that I make will be absolutely spoiler filled, to some extent. I just like talking about certain things. It's just kind of the way it goes. I have to talk about the episode. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below. Other things you want me to review, I'll probably get to them at some point. Again, I'll probably take a break from The Sopranos. Maybe every season I'll take a break, review some other stuff, keep coming back to it. I'll still review Star Wars and Marvel content. Star Wars videos, we're doing pretty well. I'll be back with a prequel trilogy pretty soon. I have some stuff in the works from Marvel. DC, I'm waiting till the new universe. That's my plan. I will see Aquaman 2 in theaters, but I'm not gonna go review it. I want to start off fresh for the DCU. That's my decision. That's what I'm gonna do. Um, yeah, that's it. Subscribe if you're new. You can hit the notifications bell. I do upload randomly. That's just what happens. And I love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.